easyodds.com welcomes you to another weekend of Premier League forecasting with the one and only Mr. Ross Casey, the Mad Dog, the editor of easyodds.com, currently presiding between a 50 and a 60% strike rate on the Premier League this season. And it doesn't get much better than that, but it could do this weekend if you hold the faith. Bon Jovi fans. 4 matches to look forward to this weekend with Ross, who I know is pretty sweet on a couple of these. Let's go to the Saturday game early on. Spurs versus Liverpool, 8th versus 10th, and Spurs remain unbeaten in the Premier League since the very first day.
Yeah, Spurs have slowly plugged away under Mauricio Pochettino.
Well said.
And he's up against newly crowned Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp. I was actually quite surprised that they managed to get him. I think there was a lot of clubs that would have wanted him. I'm surprised he didn't hold out for the Bayern Munich job in the summer. I thought that he would be pretty much number one on their list. But he's chosen to come to Liverpool, and I'm pleased that he's come to the Premier League.
I am as well. I like the guy. He's a sincere guy. Is there going to be a Klopp effect here?
There could be a Klopp effect, but I must admit, I think he likes to call his football style heavy metal music.
Well, Iron Maiden.
But I think that this Liverpool side that he's taken on are a little bit more pop rock than heavy metal at the moment, especially with the injuries to Joe Gomez and Danny Ings. And I think it looks like Ben Checkie's out of this game as well. I can't see them winning this game, but I do think that one of the positives of this squad that he's taken on is that Liverpool are really hard to beat. They've actually only lost one of their matches away from home this season. That was at Old Trafford. There's plenty of teams that will lose at Old Trafford this season. And they've only let in 5 goals in their 5 away games, and that shows that they are hard to break down and hard to beat. So that's something that he can take on to, but I don't think that the heavy metal music will start just yet. But I do think that with the fact that they don't concede many goals and they are hard to beat, and with the fact that Tottenham have let in the least amount of goals in the Premier League this season, that under 2.5 goals at 51-50 could be the go-to bet here. Historically, this match is actually a high-scoring game, but I'm going to say that this match could go against the grain and back under 2.5 goals as my best bet at 51-50.
Starting off with an odds against tip, as is the norm with Ross Casey. He doesn't do odds on, well, very occasionally he does. And that's Spurs versus Liverpool. Watford versus Arsenal. Pits 12th versus 2nd. And the Hornets with 6 goals in 8 games, joint lowest scorers in the Premier League. And we didn't think they would struggle in that arena, but they are, aren't they?
Yeah, apart from, of course, Odion Ighalo, who's an absolute monster of a striker.
Monster.
5 goals this season already. As you say, Watford have only scored 6, so he scored 5 out of 6, which is
one-man team.
To add to that, he also scored 20 goals in the Championship last season. So there are players in that Watford team that can score goals, although at the moment there aren't many goals going in at all at Watford. In particular, at Vicarage Road, there's been 4 matches so far at Vicarage Road. How many goals have been scored, Paul?
Not a lot.
Just the 2 goals scored in 4 games, and that is the reason exactly why I think actually Watford could cause a bit of a surprise here, and I'm going to back Watford to win either half at 2-1.
Wow.
Arsenal have been scoring goals for absolute fun in recent weeks. They managed to score 10 goals in their last 3 games, but all 3 of those sides have attacked Arsenal, trying to go for the win, which, whilst admirable, is the worst thing that you can do against Arsenal, because the space afforded to the likes of Sanchez and Walcott, specifically at Leicester, was laughable at times. And whilst it was great to watch an end-to-end game, the way to beat Arsenal, as West Ham have proved this season, also Liverpool went to the Emirates and did a job on them, by being resolute, being decent 2 backs of 4, and that is exactly what Watford do. And I think that this is going to be a tough game for Arsenal, and I think for that reason they could nick a goal and win either half at 2-1, which is my best price here.
2 odds against. Is there a third coming? By the way, if you're interested in Football League tips, the boys have got it all panned out for this weekend. 10 of the best on easyodds.com. Go have a look. Jake's in great form. Let's have it. Bring it on. Bit of Michael Owen. Have it. Okay, let's go to Newcastle versus Norwich. Oh dear. 20th versus 13th. We didn't know which way around it was going to be at this stage,
Yeah.
did we? And Newcastle, sadly, one of two teams yet to bring home 3 points, to bring home the bacon this season. We know who the other one is. It ain't a great time for the North East. It's Sunderland. And Norwich seem to be suited playing away from home, don't they?
Absolutely. Listen to these stats about playing
Go on, hock it.
away from home.
Have it.
They've only lost one of their 5 matches so far this season away from home. But looking back as far back as last season, and remember, this is a Norwich team that pretty much kept their squad entirely from their championship squad last season. So it is pretty much looking at the same stats, unlike Watford, where you can't really correlate their championship team to the Premier League teams. It's entirely different. Yeah. Watford have changed their team. Norwich haven't really. And Norwich won 14 matches on the road last season, which is an incredible record. And they've carried that on in their form here. So they will have no fear playing at St James's Park. Newcastle have only won at home this season in the League Cup up against the mighty Northampton. And 109 to 100 on Norwich draw no bet here, so you'll get your money back for a draw. I think is a very good price. The woes continue at Newcastle. Tim Krul is out for the season, so Carl Darlow or Rob Elliott is likely to deputise in goal. They're bottom of the league. They've only got 3 points. They've got a minus 11 goal difference after they capitulated at Man City so dreadfully, and that is a worrying sign for Newcastle, because there have been points in matches that they are playing well, and every single time they seem to be about to win a game, they snatch that victory away by just being completely stupid at the back. So I think with Norwich's away record, they've got nothing to fear in this game, and draw no bet at 109 to 100 is a pretty decent bet.
Three bets from this man. Three odds against. It doesn't get better than that, or does it? By the way, before we talk about Swansea Stoke, don't forget, of course, Tom the Power Pal is on fire. Have a look at his Rugby Union World Cup tips. He's smashing them in left, right and centre.
He's hit 18.
He is. But all he does is he just uses a magic pin. How valuable is that? No, he doesn't. He knows his Rugby Union. So go and have a look at Tom the Power Pal's Rugby Union tips. He's absolutely on fire, and he's a nice man as well. So I'm told. Right, let's go to Swansea versus Stoke. It's 11th, Rossi, versus 14th. I suppose you could call this the pretty boys against the practical boys.
You could say that, although this new Stoke side are actually probably less practical and trying to be a bit more magical now. But is it working? Well, after a poor start to the season, they have won 3 in a row now. But is that form a little bit of a lie? Because you look at that run, and they've beaten Fulham, Aston Villa and Bournemouth, and that was a Bournemouth side that lost Callum Wilson. So is it a little bit false, that run? I'm going to argue that possibly it is a little bit. And I think that Swansea to win here at 21 to 20 is actually a pretty good price.
You like Swansea, don't you?
I like Swansea, especially at home. They're unbeaten at home. They've marked their pitch up so that it's pretty much as big as it possibly can be. Good
crowd, good atmosphere.
Yeah, and
fabulous.
The way that they play football, they are stretch teams with the width of Montero and Routledge and those types of players, and they tire teams out, and then eventually they grab a goal through the likes of Andre Ayew or Bafétimbi Gomis.
I like the Gomez celebration. It's the best thing.
Probably the best thing.
It's like front crawl, isn't it? Gone wrong. It's a line though, isn't it?
So with the incredible home form that Swansea have, where of course they have beaten Man United this season already, they're unbeaten in 5 at home. Stoke are actually winless in 7 in this fixture, so I think 21 to 20 on backing a home win here is a decent price. And if you add all of my tips for this weekend together for the 4 tips,
go on
the app with the Easy Odds app, make sure you download the app to get the best of the bet basket, where you can correlate your accumulators for the weekend. And it's a best price of 23 to 1, so that's what I'm going to be doing this.
Are you doing it?
This weekend, of course I will be.
23 to 1!
And let's hope for a big win this weekend.
Brilliant. It's been a really good start to the football season for Ross Casey and the Easy Odds team as a whole, tipping left, right and centre. Angus Loughlin has his Champions Day tips at Ascot. They're online now. Go and have a look. He's gone for a massive price horse in the Champion Stakes. Is he mad? Well, we know he's mad, but he gets it right. Thanks for listening here to easyodds.com. We'll be back next week with this man. 27 to what's going on?